The latest movie news and reviews to see or not to see.
Throw out your sideburns and light up your cigar. Today I'm looking back at X-Men 2. Several months have passed since the X-Men defeated Magneto and imprisoned him in a seemingly impregnable plastic chamber. One day, a mutant by the name of Nightcrawler infiltrates the White House and attempts to assassinate the president, setting off a chain reaction of anti-mutant measures by the government. Meanwhile, Logan's trying to discover his past as a scientist named William Stryker discovers Professor X's secret school and Cerebro. Magneto's partner Mystique is planning to break her leader out of prison, but when Professor X's school is attacked by Stryker's forces, Logan, Rogue, Iceman and a few are lucky to escape. Those who remain form an uneasy alliance with Magneto to stop Stryker and rescue Professor X. Straight off the bat, this movie had a lot to live up to from its predecessor. Luckily, the film gives most of the characters a genuinely interesting storyline amongst the bigger picture, and although the story is not without its faults, this is a movie that's definitely worth the hype. In only 2 films, it's an amazing thing that you already have a real appreciation for the relationships between such a large group of characters. I'd love to say that it's the casting that makes the film so brilliant, and it's true, the casting is great, but a couple of these characters have been woefully miscast. Bobby Drake as Iceman is one that still stands out to me. I do like Shawn Ashmore as an actor, but he just doesn't bring enough of the cocky attitude that Iceman's famous for. And even though his role in X-Men 2 is smaller than the first film, James Marsden just doesn't seem to have it in him to hold a commanding and authoritative position as Cyclops. I mean, he's supposed to be the leader of the X-Men, and he comes off as a whiny, sooky sidekick. In the first X-Men film, he managed to at least stand side by side with Wolverine with some great gags, but he's been left in the gutter in X-Men 2, and in the single scene towards the end of the film where Marsden's allowed to genuinely act, his emotional response feels awkward and forced. One of the main things that annoyed me with X-Men 2 is the lack of Storm's accent. Bryan Singer said this was because Halle Berry had much more dialogue this time around and it saved her worrying about an accent. But when the character's history calls for the accent, I think it should stay intact. It'd be like doing a film on Hitler and giving him an American accent. It just doesn't work. Thankfully, most of the new additions to the cast are admirable. The recast Pyro is great and Nightcrawler is fantastic. In fact, Alan Cummins is the only actor in the film who comes close to matching the quality of Jackman's Wolverine and McKellen's Magneto. Again, Wolverine's Rogues Gallery is glossed over, with Lady Deathstrike being handled in a very similar way to how Sabretooth was in the first film. It's never touched upon how or why she has adamantium fingernails. In the end, there's a few slip-ups here and there in an otherwise classy and supremely entertaining film. X-Men 2 is available on DVD and Blu-ray now, and I'm giving it a 4 out of 5.
Check out more movie reviews online right now to seeornottosee.net.